Hey everyone, today we're diving into something that's completely transformed my approach to building better habits. We're looking at Chapter 8 of Atomic Habits by James Clear, which focuses on making habits attractive, or as I like to call it, the art of making good habits irresistible. You know what's fascinating? We often think building better habits is all about willpower and discipline. I used to believe that too. But after spending 3 months experimenting with the concepts we're about to discuss, I've completely changed my perspective. Let me show you why. The core principle we're exploring today is the second law of behavior change: make it attractive. But this isn't just about making things look pretty. We're talking about a deep psychological principle that can transform how you approach any habit. Let me start with a personal story that illustrates this perfectly. For years, I had this goal of becoming a morning person. I'd set my alarm for 5 a.m., full of determination. Day one, great. Day two, still good. By day five, well, let's just say my snooze button got more action than my running shoes. But everything changed when I understood the science behind habit attraction. Now I consistently wake up at 5 a.m., and here's the crazy part. I actually look forward to it. I'll show you exactly how I did this, and more importantly, how you can apply this to any habit you want to be building. Let's get into the fascinating science for a moment. Our brains operate on a reward prediction system, and dopamine plays a crucial role here. When researchers studied dopamine activity in the brain, they made a surprising discovery. Dopamine isn't just released when we experience pleasure, it's actually released in anticipation of pleasure. This is why window shopping can be as enjoyable as buying something, or why planning a vacation brings so much joy. Understanding this changed everything for me. If anticipation drives action, then the key to building better habits isn't about forcing yourself to do things. It's about engineering that anticipation. Now let's dive deep into the three major strategies that can transform any habit into something you actually look forward to doing. These aren't just theories. They're backed by extensive research in behavioral psychology and neuroscience. First, temptation bundling. Temptation bundling is a powerful concept that leverages the psychology of reward pairing. Think of it as creating a positive association between something you need to do and something you want to do. The science behind this is fascinating. When we bundle a necessary activity with something pleasurable, our brains begin to associate the two, eventually making the necessary task itself more appealing. Here are some effective examples of temptation bundling. Combining exercise with entertainment, audiobooks, podcasts, or favorite shows. Pairing household chores with engaging audio content. Linking study sessions with favorite snacks or drinks. Connecting bill paying with relaxing coffee shop visits. Matching skill learning with enjoyable activities. But what makes temptation bundling so effective? Research in behavioral psychology shows that when we link activities this way, we're essentially hijacking our brain's reward system. The dopamine release associated with the enjoyable activity begins to spill over into the necessary task. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't bundle activities that interfere with each other. Avoid pairing with activities that have diminishing returns. Don't choose rewards that undermine your primary goal. Ensure the bundled activities have similar durations. Watch out for dependency on the reward. Second, environmental engineering. Environmental engineering is about creating spaces that make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. This strategy is based on the concept of choice architecture, the idea that our behavior is significantly influenced by how options are presented to us. The psychology of environment. Visual cues trigger behavioral responses. Physical arrangement affects decision-making. Environmental friction impacts habit formation. Context cues can automate behavior. Spatial organization influences choices. Key principles of environmental design. A. Proximity principle. Place helpful tools within easy reach. Keep distractions out of sight. Create dedicated spaces for specific habits. Optimize the path of least resistance. B. Visual cueing. Use clear visual reminders. Implement color coding systems. Create obvious action triggers. Design clear organizational systems. C. Friction manipulation. Reduce steps for good habits. Add obstacles to bad habits. Streamline positive choices, complicate negative options. Third, social reinforcement. Social reinforcement leverages our natural desire for belonging and community approval. Research shows that our habits are strongly influenced by our social circles and the behaviors we observe in others. The science of social habits. Mirror neuron activation in group settings. Social proof as a behavioral driver. Community reinforcement effects. Peer pressure's positive potential. Group identity's impact on habits. Effective social reinforcement strategies. A. Community building. Join groups with shared goals. Participate in challenges. Share progress appropriately. Celebrate others' successes. Create accountability partnerships. B. Social environment design. Surround yourself with positive influences. Build supportive networks. Create collaborative goals. Establish group norms. Develop shared metrics. C. Digital integration. Use social platforms purposefully. Create virtual accountability. Share progress meaningfully. Build online communities. Maintain digital boundaries. Implementation framework. To effectively implement these strategies, consider the following framework. First, assessment phase. Evaluate current habits. Identify improvement areas. Analyze environmental factors. Consider social influences. Document starting points. Second, design phase. Select appropriate strategies. Plan implementation steps. Create support systems. Establish measurements. Set realistic timelines. Third, integration phase. Start with small changes. Build progressive systems. Monitor effectiveness. Adjust as needed. Scale successful elements. Key success factors. Start small and build gradually. Focus on consistency over intensity. Allow for flexibility and adaptation. Monitor progress without obsession. Celebrate small wins. Learn from setbacks. Adjust strategies as needed. The power of progressive implementation. Begin with one strategy. Master basic applications. Add complexity gradually. Build sustainable systems. Create lasting change. Now, as we wrap up our deep dive into making habits attractive, let's take a moment to consider the bigger picture. We've explored the science of dopamine, discovered the power of temptation bundling, and learned how our environment shapes our behavior. But here's what I really want you to take away from all of this. Building better habits isn't about forcing yourself to change through sheer willpower. It's about understanding your brain's reward system and working with it, not against it. Think about it. Every time you've successfully built a lasting habit, it probably wasn't through force, but through genuine enjoyment or meaningful association. Let's reflect on some powerful truths about habit formation that we've uncovered. First, every habit, good or bad, serves a purpose. That afternoon social media scroll, it's fulfilling a need for connection or entertainment. That morning coffee ritual, it's probably more about the moment of peace than the caffeine. Understanding these deeper needs is crucial for building lasting habits. Second, attraction isn't just about immediate pleasure, it's about anticipation, about the story we tell ourselves about what we're doing. When we make our habits attractive, we're essentially rewriting these stories in our favor. Think about the most successful people in any field. They didn't just build good habits. They created environments and systems that made those habits inevitable. They understood that motivation isn't something you have or don't have. It's something you design. Here's a powerful way to think about your journey forward. 1. The 30-day perspective. Your first month is about experimentation. Focus on finding the right combinations that work for you. Don't expect perfection, aim for progress. Document what works and what doesn't. 2. The 90-day transformation. By this point, your new habits should feel more natural. You'll start noticing subtle benefits. Your environment will be better aligned. Your social circles will adapt to support your changes. 3. The 1-year vision. This is where habits become part of your identity. The attractive aspects become intrinsic rather than external. You start inspiring others through your example. Your systems become second nature. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every person with strong habits once struggled with building them. The difference isn't in their willpower or discipline. It's in their understanding of how to make good habits attractive and bad habits unattractive. As you move forward from this video, I want you to think differently about your habits. Instead of asking, how can I force myself to do this? Ask, how can I make this something I want to do? Instead of relying on motivation, focus on designing your environment. Rather than going it alone, build your support system. Your next steps: choose just one habit to transform this week. Apply the attraction framework we discussed. Set up your environment for success. Find at least one accountability partner. Document your journey. Come back and share your progress in the comments. I'd love to hear about your journey. What habit are you going to make attractive first? What combination of strategies resonates most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. If you found value in this breakdown of atomic habits, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into life-changing books. I release new videos every week focusing on personal development, productivity, and building better habits. And here's a special question for you. What's one habit you've successfully built and what made it stick? Share your experience in the comments. Let's learn from each other. Remember, building better habits isn't about perfection. It's about making small, strategic improvements that compound over time. Every time you make a good habit more attractive, you're not just changing a behavior, you're building a better version of yourself. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next week, keep making those habits attractive, and I'll see you in the next video.